Let's just hear what the Prime Minister has been saying, because Boris Johnson has given this statement about the incident, saying he is deeply saddened by the terrible incident in Glasgow. My thoughts are with all the victims and their families. And he adds, thank you to our brave emergency services who are responding. We've also heard from the Home Secretary, Priti Patel, who has also, of course, as you would expect, been talking about the situation in Glasgow this afternoon. Deeply alarming reports coming from Glasgow, says Priti Patel. Please follow the police advice and avoid the area. And my thoughts are with the emergency services as they continue to respond to this incident. Nicola Sturgeon as well, Scotland's First Minister, has been commenting as well. And let's hear what she has been saying. The reports from Glasgow city centre are truly dreadful. My thoughts are with everyone involved. I'm being updated as the situation becomes clearer. Please help the emergency services to do their jobs by staying away from the area. And please don't share any unconfirmed information. And certainly in the first, well, still to an extent now, but in the early stages of this, there was an awful lot of confusion, and exemplified by one of the eyewitnesses I spoke to, who said he was in the area, but some people thought it was a shooting, some people thought it was a stabbing. There was a lot of confusion and a lot of rumours flying around, as sadly can happen. So we're still trying to get clarity, but we do know that 3 people died in that stabbing. We do not know anything about those individuals or the motive. Our correspondent Charlotte Rose has been trying to keep across all the strands of information as they come through. What's your understanding of where we are, of what the police in Scotland are saying as they continue to respond to this?
Well, Jane, Police Scotland are saying that the male suspect was shot by one of their armed officers in the building where this took place, which we know is the Park Inn Hotel in Glasgow. Obviously, that building not operating as a hotel at the moment because of coronavirus restrictions. It has been said that some of the individuals who were staying there were asylum seekers who had been placed into that building because their current accommodation is being refurbished. We don't know the details of that, and we don't know the identities of those who have been injured. We don't know the identities of the people who were staying, as I say, in that Park Inn hotel. I have seen from aerial footage of the street people being ushered out of the building by police and sent down to the outside of the police cordon. No doubt Police Scotland will be wanting to speak to them to try and find out details as to what has happened. But the suspect has been shot by a member of Police Scotland's armed team. The police have also said that one of their officers has been injured and is now being treated in hospital. No update on their condition, but they say the family of that officer has been informed.
Yes, important to stress that the Police Federation of Scotland wanting to reassure anyone who's watching all of this coverage, who is concerned perhaps if a friend or relative of theirs serves in the police. They want to stress that the family of the officer who's been injured is aware of what has happened. So they want to alleviate any concern, but it's still a very, very difficult time for everybody involved. And crucially, what we don't know, Charlotte, is any reason, any motive. We just don't know what went on here.
Absolutely. We don't know the causes. We don't know whether the suspect was known to the victims. We don't know what might have taken place. And Police Scotland will now obviously be taking time to collect evidence from the scene and to speak to those who might have been there and any eyewitnesses who may have seen what had happened, who might know the identity of the suspect and be able to shed more light on that until the police give us more information about where their investigation is leading them. Obviously, we're not able to speculate, and we should say as well that both the First Minister Nicola Sturgeon and the police have urged people not to share unconfirmed reports on social media or to share graphic images on social media that might show any of the victims, but to please, if you have any information that might be useful to the police, to contact Police Scotland.
And perhaps worth reiterating that it's been a good hour since the police said, we believe there is no wider risk to the public. I mean, that's important for everyone trying to, who lives in Glasgow, people trying to work in the area. So they've been quite confident for some time that there was no wider risk, which tells us what the police believe, at least, has gone on. They clearly believe that they've been able to contain this.
Absolutely, and people will have seen from the footage that we've been showing the large number of emergency services which are at the scene at the moment, and clearly Police Scotland are wanting to reassure the public and say that this is now contained. And I think also we ought to reflect the fact that Priti Patel, the Home Secretary, when speaking in the Commons recently, did warn MPs about the concern over a rise in lone wolf attacks, whatever the motive behind those attacks might be, and clearly we don't know the motive here. But Priti Patel was speaking to MPs just last week when she said that security services had said that they are picking up more and more concern really over the possibility of lone wolf attacks taking place across the UK.
Absolutely. We still do not know, of course, that's all we can say at this stage. We don't know the reason, the motivation for this, and Charlotte, as you say, we don't know whether the victims in this case knew the person, the suspect, who, as police say, has now been shot. So there is a huge amount of information still to piece together. I'm so sorry. But the police stressing there's no wider risk to the public. They believe the situation is contained. And so, Charlotte, just to reiterate the final details, sadly, we know that 3 people have lost their life, and a police officer, sorry, we don't know it was a man, a police officer was injured.
That's absolutely right, yeah.
Charlotte Rose, thanks very much. I'll let you get a few more details and try to piece together what more we might know.